So already, I've had this car 48 hours. It's toured a national park. It's repaired a Harley Davidson gang motorcycle group. It's set some unofficial speed records. It's done some really, really surreal night photography and pulled a newlywed couple out of a salty mud hole. 2023 was an incredible year for me. Not only did I get to do my first network TV show with Hot Wheels, I got to do a run from Key West to Prudhoe Bay, Alaska. I got to go to Hawaii for the first time. I did so many cool things, but the coolest one was getting selected to be a part of the Swae North American expedition this past summer. Swae is a really, really cool company. They are like a research and development company. Does all this really neat high tech stuff, robots, carbon fiber, all sorts of cool textile stuff. They do neat apparel. They do outdoor stuff. They do a lot of neat content creation. They are just kind of like this skunk works of all sorts of things cool. And they partnered up with VINwiki to do a North American expedition, which is just going to be, building some proof of concept cars to kind of look for that do it all sort of car. We picked Porsche Cayennes for this project, and these things got tricked out with just lifted suspension, cool wheels, cool tires, all the good tunes on the engine, just all the great stuff. And I was so excited to get to be a part of this. And the plan was that we were going to take these four Cayennes, and some of us were just going to go in all four different directions. Ed and John Ficara and Trevor from Swae, they piled in a couple of them, took off to Alaska. And then I took one, grabbed one of the Swae media guys, and we took off and did kind of a loop through the Southwest. So day one, Swae's headquarters is right outside the gates of Glacier National Park. It's one of the few national parks I've never been to. So day one, hit Glacier National Park. Took off immediately. The car is just incredible. It's fast, it's comfortable, it's got all the bells and whistles on it. Sounds great. Had a first half a day just driving up the mountain. We had a lot of swag, and Swae's got some cool, they print stickers and patches and t-shirts. They've got a whole trunk full of just all kind of gear to give out. We're meeting people, of course. Every time you stop, people want to come talk to you about this car. It's covered in this wrap. It's got a big map and all this race livery and stuff all over it. Roof rack, tools. This thing just looks like it's ready for adventure. So every time people stop, we're handing out stickers, handing out patches. Came across a bunch of Harley Davidsons broken out on the side of the road. And of course, me being a Harley guy, stop. And the Swae Porsche, one of its first tasks was a mobile repair unit. And I got this lady's bike going for her again. And we sent them off with a bunch of t-shirts and stuff like that. Came down and just hit the road. And just from there, just started making stuff up. One of the first places I wanted to go, of course, was Bonneville Salt Flats. Now, I've been to Bonneville a few times over the years, motorcycles, trucks, whatever. But every time I've been there, I've managed to either be on a big, slow Harley Davidson or in my big, slow old Scout or some other big, slow old, overland truck or something. But finally, I'm at Bonneville with a very, very fast Porsche. Now, for liability purposes, of course, I went out there and drove very safely and made a lot of good decisions and didn't do anything sketchy at all. But there were some times that big, wide open space out there, I might have lost track of exactly how fast that car was going. The word exotic gets used most of the time when you've heard of travel about somewhere exotic. You think about beaches and palm trees and blue water and white sand. But the true definition of exotic is going to be something different from the norm, different from what you were used to. And I could probably make a good case that the Bonneville Salt Flats is the most exotic place you will ever take a car. Found some kind of slushy, muddy spots. Found some poor newlywed couple that had gotten stuck out there in their rental car and used the Porsche to pull them free. So already, I've had this car 48 hours. It's toured a national park. It's repaired a Harley Davidson gang motorcycle group. It's set some unofficial speed records. It's done some really, really surreal night photography and pulled a newlywed couple out of a salty mud hole. It's already proven itself to be a very versatile car. So we're just kind of heading south, I guess. Like, that's kind of one of those fun kind of road trips where you don't have a specific destination. You're just like, let's go south. So we take off and we're just cruising the highways and the byways, stopping for gas, met a bunch of VINwiki fans out there, gave away a bunch of merch, found all kind of cool people. One of the neat things about doing YouTube is there's so many other cool YouTubers out there. And I called up Matt's Off-Road Recovery. I've been a big fan of theirs, and called them up and said, hey, I'm going to be coming through your area. You guys want to go do a trail ride? And they're VINwiki fans. They're like, heck yeah, man, come on, that'll be awesome. So we head down to Hurricane, get a hotel, meet them the next morning. Go out to take the Cayenne for We'd already figured out it was great on the road. It was great in the mountains. It was good on the salt flats and did pretty well in the mud, but we were going to go see how it did in the sand dunes. And that's a story all for another day. But needless to say, we did find the limitations of hill climbing and ground clearance for the Porsche. Had a big old time there. Got it back on the road, did some rock crawling with it, did fantastic. Got on the highway, headed to Vegas now. And, we had shot so much content, had a lot of editing to do. The media guy needed a day or two to just kind of chill out and kind of process this stuff, edit some stuff down. So we headed to Vegas. I met up with some friends there, and a buddy of mine's a drummer in the B-52s, hooked up with some of them, went out, found some great Chinese food, ran into some more VINwiki fans, just kind of turned into an impromptu car show in the kind of side neighborhood of Vegas. Went out, cruised the strip, took some cool pictures, went downtown, had a great photo shoot, met up a photographer friend of mine, and he took some amazing shots while we were cruising around. Got a chance to test the Cayenne out for just its day-to-day cruising. And, anytime you roll up anywhere with a crowd of people and you are in a very dirty rally prep Porsche with off-road tires and a roof rack, we were 3 deep in people sometimes. Everybody wanted to know, where are you going? What are you doing with this car? What it's about. It was such an attention-getting car, and it was a fun way to meet a lot of people. So, we do Vegas, then we hit the road again, then we head to took a trip out through the desert, did a little bit of off-roading, did a little bit of exploring, found an old ghost town, did some more off-road. The car did really amazing off-road. As we kind of figured out with Matt, like super soft sand is not really its thing, but honestly, no car that's built for it is. That's just one of those surfaces that you're just not going to win on. But the car just did everything well. It got incredible fuel economy despite being a twin turbo V8. It would go way faster than I would ever allegedly admit it to going. It carried lots of people. It carried lots of gear. It was comfortable. AC worked great. Had air conditioned seats. That was so nice. Anyhow, it was just a fantastic car. Did everything we needed to do. And having done this big sort of beautiful arc, kind of, Montana, kind of down through the Rockies, kind of cutting across the desert, hit Utah, across to Vegas. Now we're heading to LA. I've been to LA many times, and, LA is a cool town. It's one of those places that I don't know if I'd ever want to live there, but like when you're in Los Angeles, especially as a car person, you feel like there is, no matter what it is, how niche your thing is, there's going to be a club or something for it there. So we get to Los Angeles, and it's on the weekend. I start looking up, car events, all that. Make the Los Angeles car show scene for the whole weekend. The Cayenne's a big hit. Everybody's so excited that we're actually doing stuff with it out there and just having a big time. Met some cool folks. Even met another group of Porsche Cayenne Overlander guys. Hung out with them. Went by, did the obligatory photo at the Portofino. That's where we end up after Cannonballs. And took a picture of the car there. And that's right down the road from the Mattel headquarters, which, of course, is Mattel makes Hot Wheels, which is my brand. I haven't done, the show, played with them for years. So I was really excited to go there. As soon as I pulled up, there's kind of a rotunda in front of the Hot Wheels headquarters, or the Mattel headquarters. And they've got like the Hot Wheels bus out front. And I kind of wanted to get a shot of the Cayenne with it. So I posed it for a couple of photos. And I kind of pulled up on the curb a little bit to try to get this one shot. I'm kind of standing on their sign to kind of get this cool angle. And here comes a bunch of security guys. And I'm like, oh crap, I'm in trouble. Because I'd already kind of driven through a sidewalk that I don't think was supposed to be a driveway and a couple other things. But I thought I was going to be in trouble, but it turned out they had seen the car online. They'd seen it on the VINwiki post. They'd seen it on the Matt's post. They just wanted to see the car. Thinking I'm in trouble. Now I've got an inside track with the security guys. We go inside. They're introducing me to people. And, I've got another Hot Wheels project coming up out there soon. But in the meantime, I just got the VIP tour. They sent me into the parking deck where they have all like the Hot Wheels, like real life Hot Wheels cars, similar to the ones that we built on the show, but these are the ones they've used for promos for years. The truck that Tanner Faust did the loop and the jump in, a bunch of like the Darth Vader car, all this kind of stuff. So, I got the Cayenne in there with all these Hot Wheels, real life cars. Just what a cool experience. This Porsche is like, it's like the key to get into all the cool experiences. I'm having such a good time with it. Go from there, go to the Peterson Museum, which Peterson was having a big Porsche exhibit at the time. They were very excited about the Porsche being there. They actually let me make it part of the exhibit. There's a cool rally, like a Monte Carlo rally, 914 Porsche that was orange, matched ours. We got to park them next to each other. Just went and had a big time there. They're VINwiki fans as well. They were just super nice folks. If you've ever been to LA and not been to the Peterson and you're a car person, you are missing it. The main level of the museum is incredible, but the real ticket there is the vault. Think of like all of the famous cars you can think of and 90% of them are in that vault down there. And I could make a whole video just talking about all the cool cars I saw, but that was a really awesome day. Took it to the close, went outside, got a few more shots of the Porsche while it was part of the Porsche display. Took off. My camera guy had to get back, so drop him off at the airport, and then it was just me and the Cayenne, and I still had a few days left and just thought, like, you know, what am I going to do? So Pacific Coast Highway is just one of those beautiful places that, again, if you've never been there, go find it. So just like a lot of this trip, I just picked a direction and just headed north and just went up Pacific Coast Highway. And again, driving along, just enjoying the weather, enjoying the scenery. Had a car come up behind me, just honking his horn, flashing his lights. I'm thinking, oh, did something fall off the car? No, they had just seen the car online and wanted to come just say hi. And I'd given away most of the t-shirts, most of the stickers by this point, but I kept keeping a stash because I'd meet people, but then every now and then I'd meet somebody that was just so cool, so into cars that I wanted to give them the extra, give them a patch, something extra. So just gave this guy and his wife the last bit of the swag I had pretty much, and just kept on driving, turned around, came back down. I was going to take the Porsche. Its final destination was going to be Phoenix. I was going to hand it off to the JR Garage guys. So got my dose of LA traffic, of course. Then I got a place for the night, spent the next day just driving through the desert, just savoring this incredible trip I've made in this incredible car that really just did everything. You know, it was good in traffic. It was good in the mountains. It was good on the highway. It was good on-road, off-road, great in the curves. Carried all the stuff. You know, Swae built these vehicles really to see, can we build like the ultimate road trip car? And honestly, I think they did. This thing just did it all. It was so much fun to drive, and got to Phoenix, met up with those guys, had a big time out with them. They've got some incredible cars too, and took a spin in a few of their rides. And when it came time to hand them the keys, because they were going to go take the Porsche and they were going to take it over from me and go do some stuff for themselves. And I'd say there's this moment where I was kind of like, you know, it was like trying to give the keys over. Like I didn't want to end, like, no, be careful. So I went back and said goodbye to it about 6 times. Just an incredible week and an incredible car. And the photos and the memories from that trip will stay with me for a lifetime. But while I'm having this trip, you know, Ed and John, all those guys are up in Alaska doing their own trip. You know, they've got their own video about that. But I was just so happy to be a part of the Swae North American expedition and get to have this couple of weeks in this incredible car. And, you know, been there, done there, got the t-shirt, but incredible time, incredible car, and can't wait for the next one.
By now you know that Auto Tempest is the best place to shop for your next car because they compile all the results from all the major listing sites into one place. And of course they support the best car content on YouTube. But did you also know that Auto Tempest now has a new mobile app? That's right, in addition to using it in your browser on a computer, you can also have it for iOS or Android in the palm of your hand. So check it out and download it. I know you'll love it the way I love it, and leave them a great review.